match their numbers. I mean, I could have settled for, okay, being close. I said no, I just stayed and I dug in and I did what I had to do. There were many nights I was going away from home. And as far as I'm gonna say this, as far as my family's concerned, not once in his lifetime or my children's lifetime have I ever been gone and they didn't know, my wife didn't know where I was. I think it's pretty tough, but what you have to do is you just have to know that the obstacle's there and you gotta figure out a way to get around them. It's nothing more than football, right? You know you got a defense, it's always there. You just gotta figure out a way to get around it. And I'm telling you, one of the best quarterbacks is God. He'll call those signals for you and he'll find a way for you to get around it. But I think there has to be an in-depth dialogue, not only about racism, but also within the race about the same thing that you talked about. What are you going to do with your life? There wasn't, when my kids grew up, their prospects were there. They knew that they had, one of the things they had to do was go to church and go to school. You didn't come in, you didn't get up in the house. And I wasn't like that. I mean, my grandmother sent me to church, but it wasn't mandated. It was almost mandatory. You got to go to church a day.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. What do you mean you can't? I said to one of my kids one time that it came home with a grade that I wasn't satisfied with, and I wasn't overly harsh on it, because Maurice, I've never had to tell a study one day in his life. And I said, well, you 13 years old, you can't make, I mean, I always felt if you're an A student, you bring home A's. If you're a B student, you bring home B's. If you're a C student, then I gotta accept that. But if you're an A student and you bring home a C, and I'm going like, well, do you have a job or something that I don't know about? Because you don't have to work. Your mom and me will take care of you.
Amen.
And we had high expectations. You know, I would go to school.
Yep.
I remember one day, my son came home. He'd been in an altercation. And I picked him up from school. And he was looking sort of gloom. And I said, well, what's the matter with you? I got in a fight in school. I was halfway home. I turned that car back around and went to school. I asked him what happened. And I went right to the principal's office. And I said, I have a boxing team. But I didn't raise him to go to school to fight. He comes in here to learn. And the principal happened to be a black lady. She was upset with that, so she turned me over to the vice principal. And it was cleared up within a day or so. But I made it, I'll tell you what, one time I got in an altercation with a guy right outside the house, not too far from the house. This kid, and I was boxing when I was young, right? And I made a mistake. And a right hand came over and caught me in the nose. Well, blood shot out of my nose. Now, my grandmother's position was, you go back to school tomorrow and you get him. I'm going like, are you serious? Do you see me? I can't do that. But, you know, we had high expectations of the kids. And you just got to have something in yourself. You can't let the system kill you. The system is designed to kill you. They're building prisons. Like I said, they're building prisons all over the place. For what? For African American kids.
Yeah.
That they know that's going to get in trouble because it's just. And I used to tell kids I went down to the prison one time in Atlanta, and it's no fun. It's no fun. I mean, the kid said, I will never go back in here again. But, you know, it's all in what you want to do. You have to make some decisions in your life. Unfortunately, for young black kids, either their parents have to make some decisions for them and have to live by them. And you can't be beating them up and cursing them out. I mean, you got to have some serious discussions because that just leads to nothingness. you know, when you have when you raise kids, that's your responsibility. I don't care what anybody else says. That's your responsibility. You can't give it over to anybody else. And I don't want to ramble on about that because some things I could talk about forever.
So I think this would be a great time to pray. And we've been sitting for a while. Let's all stand up.